Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Yesterday, Jerome Powell spoke something very interesting, and I thought I'd pick Anand's brain about it. Him basically saying that he's going to be doing some very unpopular things to control price. That stable price is the bedrock of a good economy. In the short term, people might hate him for it, and he said the Fed is the only institution, because of absence of direct political control, it is the only institution that can steer this. What do you say, Anand?
First, he spoke at the Swedish
Risk
Riksbank,
bank. Yeah.
which is the central bank of Sweden,
Yes,
and is also the sponsor of the World Economic Nobel.
yes,
They sponsor the Economic Nobel.
correct.
The rest all was sponsored by Alfred Nobel,
Yes.
but this particular thing is sponsored by
Sponsored by
this
him.
of the Swedish Riksbank.
Yes.
Now, so it's a place where economic policy is dictated. What Jerome Powell said is nothing to do, according to him, nothing to do with America. What he said is,
Wait, let's clarify. Nothing to do with America, but everything to do with America.
okay. So what he said is central bankers have to take unpopular decisions to stabilize prices. And he says politically unpopular decisions to stabilize prices. We have to remember and go back to Socrates. Socrates said that the problem with democracy is it's a sweetmeat shop. That is, instant gratification wins over
Long
delayed
term,
gratification.
yes.
Though delayed gratification is always good.
It's far superior, yes.
But unless you are Singapore and led by Lee Kuan Yew, it's not possible in an election because the other guy will form instant gratification and
Offer
you
it also.
and offer it and you will never come to power.
Yes.
Jerome Powell has been a victim of political abuse on both sides. When he started to increase interest rates before the COVID pandemic, Donald Trump abused him. Then in the pandemic, he reversed his decision. And for a long time, Powell was saying this is inflation is transitionary. When he realized it's not transitionary and decided to move up rates again, which we predicted he would.
Yes.
Elizabeth Warren's, Bernie Sanders, and the Spanish lady, all three of them went behind him, saying he was inhuman and all that.
Yes. How dare you?
How dare you?
The working class is suffering.
So, on both sides of the aisle, whether it's the Republican or the
Democrats.
Democrats, have gone behind him.
True.
So far, from 2000 to 2020, till this period, the Fed has been able to toe the line which is popular with politicians. But now, the interests of the politician and the health of an economy are in
Diverging.
divergent directions. The politician would like to have full employment, a bit of inflation, not too much inflation, and keep the pot
Keep
boiling,
the cash flowing.
keep the cash flowing. Recessions are painful. The average recession from 1910 till today has come down dramatically. Before 1930s, government stimulus as a percentage of GDP was less than 5% at World War II. Today it is nearly 50% of GDP in developed world.
True.
So much money government has pumped into the system because inflation has remained fairly stable. Now Jerome Powell is faced with the difficult task
The ugly task.
of bringing down inflation while keeping his political bosses happy. What he is signaling is this is not possible. And we have also said several times it's not possible. They expect inflation to dramatically drop. It will drop to 6 very fast. It may even drop to 4. From 4 to 2 is the real problem. So he is repeatedly saying that he has to take unpopular decisions because people are simply not willing to listen to that. And 2 years from now, there is going to be a presidential election.
Yes.
So he does
And
not.
again, congressional elections will happen.
So he says, be ready for some unhealthy choices. Sorry, healthy but unpopular. Sorry. He says, be ready for a healthy but unpopular choice. Basically, he is hinting that this 4.25 to 4.5 interest rate is going to go up further. A section of the markets is running ahead and believing that there will be
More.
no more hikes and the Fed will be forced to cut. Why do they believe that? Because the Fed has always, over the last 20 years, after the famous Greenspan put, always jumped ahead of the market and cut rates. But this time, all these times when they cut rates, inflation was benign. But here, inflation is not benign, inflation is extremely high. This may not be runaway inflation of the 1970s, but this definitely looks like the sticky variety where it's not
Yes.
going to fall to 2 very easily.
Yes.
So, from 4 to 2 is going to be a lot of pain. Some liberal commentators and economists have been saying it's okay to be at 4. The problem with it's okay to be at 4 is 4 to 6 is very easy. The moment you stop raising rates, the first sign of easing rates are going to inflation will go back to 6 or 7. So it could take longer than what people expect for the Fed to bring it down. And so far in 100 years, it has never happened that inflation has returned to 2% without interest rates, nominal interest rates being higher than the inflation rate.
Okay.
As of today, even after all these hikes, interest rates, nominal rates are nowhere near inflation. It's nearly 7.7. Even if it falls to 6.6, the inflation is 2.5% higher than interest rates. So the sense is it's not going to fall immediately. So he may not raise it by zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.5 and make it 5.25. He may choose 4.25 rates hikes to take it to 6.525. But there is a reflexive connection between the market and the
Fed.
Fed. If the market keeps on believing
I'm not
that
going. It's not going to
he is
happen.
not going to do, he is just crying wolf, then he has to go a lot deeper to convince the market that
So
he's
all this
see,
is an effort for him to say, "Please, market, wake up."
wake up and see the reality. Because if the market does not believe it and is going to shrug off everything as it has been doing, then he has to increase interest rates far higher than what he originally would have
Originally wanted to do,
just to tamp down your reflexive connection
to
and
realize the real bad shape we are all in.
to realize the shape you're in. Already, what was happening is all the high paying jobs are being cut, and the low paying jobs, there is nobody. If the American economy slows down as is expected to 2%, then the world economy will
Cold, yes.
catch cold. And it is now experts are saying China will also not be able to grow fast. So the whole world economy will collapse, and this will put enormous pressure on him. So he is asking the market participants to behave in a reasonable
Rational.
manner,
Yes.
rational manner. But they are not behaving in a rational manner because the Fed has been giving dog whistles,
Correct.
throwing biscuits at every time. So whoever tried to act rational in the past has been punished severely.
Correct. So now nobody wants to be.
Nobody wants to be rational. This is the problem facing him at this point of
Okay, I
time.
have a small question. So let's rewind the clock back. All this inflationary pressure happened because all this free money was printed. Correct.
Not
So,
only was free money was printed and given by the government to the people.
yes, this is that quantitative easing which was happening.
No, quantitative easing is only creating money through bank and inflating assets, which they did in 2008 also. Here, money was printed, given to government, and government distributed it to the poor people and the middle class.
Now, which Fed guy was doing this before? This guy was not the one. Before Jerome Powell,
No, no,
was it Yellen?
Jerome Powell was doing it.
Huh.
Ben Bernanke did not. He did trap.
Hmm.
Basically, they printed money and gave it to sick banks.
So
This is the
between
first time.
Bernanke and Powell, we have Yellen.
Yeah,
So she was playing to the crowd.
she was playing to the crowd because inflation was not going up, so she kept interest rates low. She didn't have to increase interest rates.
So if she had taken like what you always said, your famous economist said, I forget his name, that when the times are good, that's the time you should salt away. When the
That's
market
Keynes.
Keynes, he said,
Yeah, so if they had increased interest rates at that time,
taken the opportunity, saying everything is good,
yeah, and jacked up the rates instead of keeping it low,
would have given them a cushion.
the Fed would have had a cushion to cut rates and need not have printed the way they printed. Yes.
So it's a valuable lesson for all federal bank.
But again, see, at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve and the RBI governor is appointed by the politician. Very few people are extremely independent, and you have a
Have the
strong,
courage also to act independent.
If you act courageously, you will be sacked.
Correct.
So this is what it is. Thank you for watching Biraj. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified every time we put out a video. Once again, I thank you for your
Support.
support to Biraj. I want to thank all of you for supporting our event in Oman with great enthusiasm. A lot of people turned up in Oman, and a place where I don't have much influence. I wish to thank all of you for your support. The next event is going to be in Qatar, Doha. The event is scheduled for the last week of January. Those who would like to meet me in person in Qatar, Doha, or come to our event in Doha can send their request to the mail ID given below or contact the WhatsApp number flashing on the screen. My team will respond to you. See you in Qatar in the last week of Jan. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to brechenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.